I think it's important if you are not doing video in part of your reach out to your clients or just creating evergreen content that exists on the internet so you don't have to always be talking to your clients. It's talking for you. I think it's important that you just create content. So just eliminate hurdles. If you think because you sound like crap, you won't record video, then just get something very quickly for a mic. Just do it so that you know you're done and remove any barriers to shooting video. Shooting video should be as simple as I'm out there right now. I saw something cool. Even if it's not cool, I just want you to know about it because I want to stay relevant. Just shoot whatever you got. Always have the good enough material available. Always have your iPhone on you. Always have a mic available to you so you can go shoot that. Remove the hurdles. People generally get in their own head about what they have or, what it looks like right now or how their hair looks and that kind of stuff. And so you keep creating hurdles in your own path to getting content out there so that just it eliminates your content entirely. I think in video, Ken, to your point, okay, production's amazing. I think done is far better than perfect, in my opinion, especially if you're talking about putting on Instagram stories that are only going to live for 24 hours and then they're gone. I would rather get on a client's feed for 24 hours and not be perfect rather than wait on getting it perfect and then not deliver the content entirely and miss the boat on that.
Yes.
Whatever.
Hey, welcome to What's Working in Real Estate, where Donnie Mangos and Ken Yim get together and talk about what's working for our big teams in real estate at our brokerage, Keller Williams Referred Urban Realty. Thanks for joining.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another podcast, What's Working in Real Estate, with my co-host, Donnie Mangos, and I'm Ken Yim. And we have another friend of ours from the industry, John Chai, at Union Capital Realty. Different brokerage, but still a really good friend. So let's talk about today's content. It's about using video to sell real estate. A lot of times you'll see on the internet, you'll see social media profiles. I'm sure you follow a lot of them on creating good, engaging video content. And John just started his YouTube channel, for example, and he's a student of this, trying to learn how to create video. What are you guys seeing out there?
I think we'll let John speak first. He's the guest of the show. So, John, what are you noticing out there is working in real estate along the lines of video?
I think in terms of just doing any sort of content out there, and getting started is probably the biggest hurdle. But from what I see, people are quite active. You can get some very professional videos done through your iPhone even. Some of my friends that, even Ken knows, where they operate their whole platform through iPhone, and the content comes out amazing. I think the biggest step is to start doing it, whether it's good or bad. I think, as long as you get it out there and people start commenting, it starts to drive traffic. And, I'm probably a late bloomer to this. A lot of my friends, my agents actually are quite active on doing this. And, Ken's new venture was, very, very good in giving me a helping hand on starting my first video. And I spent probably 4 hours last night with him figuring out how to put up a banner, but, got it done. And I truly do believe it's definitely a new avenue of finding business. And, I think the content is very, very important, and, ensuring that you deliver true content, I think is the most important thing, where I'm seeing a lot of people now are shifting towards delivering content that is true to the market, whether it's good news, bad news, and it's just education is very, very important. And it definitely is helping even myself find new clients by way of educating through video.
Yeah, and I think certainly consistency is the key, that you have to do this, right? If you're not in video, I think you're losing out. There's a lot of dinosaur agents that don't really understand how to do this. At the same time, it's also a very crowded space, with over 68,000 realtors in the Toronto Real Estate Board. Big majority are using video. So some tips that I have to stand out in using video is definitely high quality stuff, but more important than the actual video itself, like you say, John, using an iPhone works really well. And we have a friend that does really good stuff using his iPhone. The most important thing I would say is audio quality. So I caught John off guard with this podcast. So he doesn't have a microphone, but so it might sound like crap. But the most important thing you need is a separate audio microphone that you can just take off the camera a little bit off and then just use that, right? So it just sounds nice and
what's a good idea, Ken? What we should do is, so if you're watching on video, you see us speaking here, but maybe on audio, you'll understand the difference in how you hear us on this recording based on Ken's got a mic, I have a mic, John doesn't. So let's just say here, I'll go first. I'll say, hey, my name is. Okay, so hey, my name is Donnie Mangos. I am a realtor with Keller Williams Referred Urban Realty. That's my mic. Ken.
Hi, my name is Kenneth Yam. I'm the broker of record at Keller Williams Referred Urban Realty as well too. I like using audio mics, and the one I have right now is my temporary one. The other one's broken, but it still works really well.
John.
Hi, I'm John Chai from Union Capital Realty, and I have a really crappy mic.
So, there was a clear difference in. I'm listening to the two of them speak, and I can hear the difference. So I'm sure the audience can hear that as well. John, you probably couldn't because you have, you can't hear yourself that way. But there's certainly a difference. So Ken values audio highly in a video. So it's different. We're not saying about visuals here, even though we're talking about video. But Ken's association with audio in that video matters. That matters when you're speaking, right? So if you're not speaking and you're going to use this TikTok stuff or like audios or the reels that are music in the background, it doesn't really matter because you're using that audio. But Ken's, I think, comment was about you delivering a message through education, through a new listing, whatever you want to talk about. But if you're speaking, that capture that audio matters, and you could solve it pretty cheaply. If you're mobile on your iPhone, a wired mic for like $20-$30 solves that problem, right? Because of crappy audio. If you're at a desk like how we are right now, the mic that I'm speaking into right now, I think it cost me $120 maybe. Ken's is probably $6,000, but somewhere in between there is probably something that works for you. So audio in a video is important. I would completely agree with that. I almost feel like it differentiates someone who knows what they're doing and someone who thinks they know what they're doing. You just feel that way when you see the video that's not captured crisply in audio.
It's professionalism at the end of the day,
That's
right?
it.
So better quality produced stuff. Don't kill yourself about getting high quality produced stuff, because nowadays our computers in our hands with our phone, right?
Look
like,
at
that does
Ken's
everything
face.
you need.
The camera is so sharp compared to
You
my
know what it is? You know
cheap
what it is, man?
webcam here.
So what I had before, I had the Sony SLR camera, and I used that as a webcam. But then it just got too fussy with the connections and stuff, so I stopped using it. So I'm literally using my iMac built-in camera, but I have a good microphone and good lighting, sure. So that's the other part of it too. But ultimately, it's good audio that matters, that people want to listen to, because as soon as it's crappy quality audio, they're just going to tune out. They're not going to listen anymore. So I think that's the most important thing. Actually, even before that, the first most important thing is having a good topic, having good guests, and having good content. Right? Then comes audio and the production quality and all that kind of stuff. But the better the production quality, the more trustworthy you are. The better you come across the camera, the better you connect with your audience, and the better you get your message through, and your message will get heard. So, definitely recommend that. John's supposed to have this little microphone thing, which didn't come through his Amazon order, unfortunately. That sounds actually crystal clear. But yeah, I think you need to have good equipment. Basic equipment, sorry. And Donnie's point was that you don't need like a high-end stuff. You can use the built-in iPhone microphone, right? Or get the little adapter dongle thing that comes with it, right?
It's sharp enough for sure.
That's all you really need. It's the distance to your mouth.
Like I think it's important, if you are not doing video in part of your reach out to your clients or just creating like evergreen content that exists on the internet, so you don't have to always be talking to your clients, it's talking for you. I think it's important that you just create content. So just eliminate hurdles. If you think because you sound like crap you won't record video, then just get something very quickly for a mic. Just do it so that you're done, and remove any barriers to shooting video. Shooting video should be as simple as, I'm out there right now, I saw something cool. Even if it's not cool, I just want you to know about it because I want to stay relevant. This is what we're trying to do here, is just stay on people's platforms. Just shoot whatever you got with what you got. Always have the good enough material available. Always have your iPhone on you. Always have a mic available to you, so you can go and shoot that. Remove the hurdles, because I find in our marketing business, people generally get in their own head about what they have, or what it looks like right now, or how their hair looks, and that kind of stuff. And so you keep creating hurdles in your own path to getting content out there, so that it eliminates your content entirely. I think in video, Ken, to your point, okay, production's amazing. I think done is far better than perfect, in my opinion. Just get the content out there, especially if you're talking about putting on Instagram stories that are only going to live for 24 hours and then they're gone. I would rather get on a client's feed for 24 hours and not be perfect, rather than wait on getting it perfect and then not deliver the content entirely and miss the boat on that
Yes.
whatever message.
Correct. So don't let that production quality stuff, that initial conversation, get in the way of things. You can simply use your iPhone, even without a microphone, if you really have to. You don't have that in front of you. You know, like those TikTok videos do really well, or Instagram, IG Reels videos do really well. They're just created natively in the app, right? Again, it just comes down to the story. So speaking of that, Donnie, it's a great segue into different types of content pillars. So you mentioned evergreen content that can live forever as well too. Some other content pillars that you could use are, you know, like, oh, you know what, before I actually get into that, you could do video walkthroughs, and if you're afraid of being in front of the camera, you can do a puppet if you really want to. I've seen puppets as well too, talking about the real estate market updates, right? You do voiceover. Okay. Or you can do an actual video walkthrough.
Me too.
So you can do that, or you can always walk through a property and have a voiceover. Right? So if you're afraid of showing your face in camera, just talk about it. And the one I just did right now did really well. I got 35,000 views and counting. It's pretty good. Some of them I've got like 500,000 views. Some of them 6 million views. So it really depends on what you're trying to showcase in the story you give it. So
hang on, Ken. Wait.
Yeah.
6 million views. Like, so those that are watching this and thinking, okay, I'll never get that many views. It doesn't even matter. My target from my audience, so Ken's target is different than my target. My target is 400 people if I can. I just want the right people to see it. And if it's my database and their friends on Facebook and Instagram, I'm creating it just for them. I actually don't care if it doesn't make 6 million views. My database is my business, not internet lead generating. So, John, I don't know where you sit on that. And I know Ken does a lot of business from people that he hasn't met yet. That's not my business. And if it's not yours, don't feel bad about that. Just create it for your own audience.
Yeah,
they don't know that you don't have.
I'm on the same page, and eventually you'll get new viewers that get recommended through your database that consistently view your videos, and I think over time you'll build it. But I think it's both ways are great. Like I said from the beginning, is that first step is just getting it done. Don't need to be perfect. I agree, but just getting out there. Don't miss the boat. Just giving it a shot and trying. Yeah, there's no bad video. I think as long as your content is legitimate, I think it doesn't matter if your video is bad. I think as long as you start getting a message out there, eventually you'll build up on it and get better and better.
No, I think there's some bad videos out there, man. Sure.
Well, the good thing is some of the bad videos, the platforms themselves won't distribute them anyway. So even if it is crap, it may not even make it to anyone's feed anyway. So it's like it prevents you from looking bad. Yeah,
that's a good point. One thing I should say though is it doesn't really matter about 6 million people. Like, you're not trying to address 6 million people. Even if it gets 20 views, 100 views, 5 views, that's 5 phone calls you could have made. You know what I mean? So instead of making those 5 phone calls, you made one video and you talked to 5 people or 20 people or whatever it is, 100 people. So if you speak to 20 people, that's a classroom full of people. That's huge.
That's huge.
How long is it going to get together to get into everybody in a classroom?
Totally.
Get 100 people together as an auditorium, right?
Totally.
Get 1,000 people together, 1,000 views. That's a stadium.
So,
so you got to look at it that way.
If you look at it, yeah, if you're looking at these, what you're creating. So simple ideas, walk through a day in the life, on my way to something, whatever you want to say that showcases you. All you're doing is you're doing this so you can have touches with your clients for the most part, or prospects. So they can feel connected to you. And by doing this, you've attached more stickiness between you and that person. So, it's important that you understand the reason why you're doing all this is not because it's not for vanity. It's not for you got nothing better to do. It's because you're doing it to leverage your time. You can speak to 20, 40, 6 million people without having to have individual conversations with each of these people, because that would be disastrous. That's it.
Sure. So let's get into some content pillars, some ideas that you can use for video content creation. I'll start with the first one. You can go with a real estate promo video, for example. So if you want to do a promotion on what you do and your services and your company's services or your brokerage, whatever, that's something you can do. Create a nice glossy commercial that you can use for advertising. So that's something we did for you recently, John, for pre-construction condo sales. That's a real estate promo video. Now you're putting some money behind it. Now you can get some ads from it. You can have a landing page, and you'll basically you'll stand out from the crowd that everyone's using these pages, right? Okay, so that's one way. We also got real estate testimonial videos. So if you get some of your clients on camera, or even if you're at the closing table, or you put the sign on the yard and everything like that, and you just kind of do a little video with them, right? Or you send out a videographer. You can contract one of our guys or whoever it is, and so to keep it third party, and then we ask them questions about how the whole process was, right? Or get your assistant to go out there and do something like that. Another thing, you could probably do a real estate intro video. I kind of talked about that already. Some tips, some knowledge broker pieces. You always want to make sure that you sound like you know what you're talking about, so you create that trustability when people first interview you. It's kind of like your resume, at the end of the day.
I think even like along those lines, house tips. Like, so, we are in the winter and we all own houses. You know that when you have those hose bibs, the water in the line freezes and it could crack and the pipe and destroy your house, all this kind of stuff. A video walkthrough of you showing them, here's what you got to do now, guys. Is, when it's December, you go here, turn this off. You're not telling them to do it on a checklist. You're showing them, oh yeah, this is what you got to do, because not everyone knows how to do that kind of stuff. That's an example of how you can use the video very quickly to get a point across and put that on your Instagram story or something.
That's a good one. Yeah, I did one of those and they did really well too. And I think you created a course for that as well too. So that's amazing. Another thing is you can do property listing videos, of course. That goes needless to say. You can obviously showcase properties with that. Even upcoming listings or something that, exclusive listings, you can always do that as well too. Just sold, things like that. So if you want to talk about a just sold case study and you want to showcase the story that you want to get across of how you actually helped that client and what they did to win, you can't do that in text. It's really hard to do that in text. So if you
and it's boring on text, Ken. Like that'd be boring on text. I want to see what they did. I want to see what they got, right?
Right. Yeah. And that's just one of many options. There's always market update videos, and that comes out once a month, right? If you send that out to your clients or your database, that's 12 touches right there. And then also home buying trends, home buying mistakes to avoid, any kind of evergreen content that you're mentioning before that can just shoot it once and you live forever.
Unless you lose hair or grow hair, in which case you may want to reshoot it.
No, there's some people that profile photos from 1990 that they don't reshoot it. Okay, so and then Glenn always talks about the 30-day emergency selling window. Is that what he talks about? At the beginning of every year.
That's right.
Funny enough, and he says the same script, right? If you have an evergreen piece of content like that, and you constantly just do the same thing over and just push it out there, it's a good message. What are some hurdles that you guys are coming across on creating video content? John, you can use this. What are you finding?
John's on mute.
Oh, there you go. You know what? I would say just allocating time to drafting up proper content and then shooting it. Obviously, I think the video shoot I did with you last week was our first one. And listen, from beginning to end, I'd say it took 6 hours of my time for one shoot, 3 to shoot it, and I'm sure it took you 3 hours to edit everything and get it back to me. And I spent probably 2 hours figuring out how to post it. And I think that's as an ongoing learning hurdle, for beginners like me, this is how much time it takes. But eventually I think, it'll take me less and less time. And like you said, you start building up some content where you can just start clipping things out and using it over and over again as well. And it just becomes one piece that is used multiple times.
Well, it's like that podcast that we did, right? Where you just take that one clip. You can take 4 to 5 clips out of that one podcast, one 20-minute conversation, even like this one, for example. And you can just post it out there that way. You create your content for the month. So we're in the middle of shooting batch content for some of our team members. And really, it's just sitting there asking them 30 questions. And that's just cut it up into 30 pieces of content they can sprinkle out throughout the month, right? Every single day. Yeah. And you layer that on top of all the evergreen stuff, the testimonials, the real estate promo videos, that just sold, just listed, all that. You can never do too much video, right? And the more you do it, the better you get at it.
Right.
You know what? I was Facebook sent me a video this morning. You get up, it's like, hey man, here's what you did 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 8 years ago, that kind of stuff. Normally it's like photos of my kids and stuff. This time I was standing in a listing. And I was doing those, hey, it's Donnie Mangos, and I'm shooting this video, and I'm in the listing, and blah, blah, blah. And oh my God, so my audio was awful. This is 5 years ago. I looked completely different, by the way. Awful video, awful like resolution on the video itself, it's embarrassing. But you know what? 5 years ago, it was totally fine. So yeah, I don't even care that it exists. I know that I've gotten better. I know, and I had to go through those hurdles to get to the point where I'm okay now, comfortable speaking, to a camera, speaking to an audience that doesn't even exist behind the screen. So just get out of your own way and don't overthink it. Don't stress it. Just do it. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, and I think as technology gets better, it makes it easier for the average consumer, right? So like even IG stories or TikTok Reels and all that, they make it so easy for you to create a compelling story. We didn't have this like 10 years ago, 20 years ago. You had to start from scratch and edit everything. This is just like stories is a thing now. You know what I mean? So if you want to see somebody's life, right, at any moment, you just look at their stories.
Yeah. That's what I would do.
Always encourage you to have a story at all times, right?
That's what I would do first. Yeah, you asked like what would you what are you, maybe some thoughts or what are the struggles you're facing. I think just do one thing first. Get on Instagram stories. Google Instagram stories if you don't know what I'm talking about. It's really simple to understand once you get into it. It's hard to explain on in words like this. You got to see it. No, anyway, so just do that and just get comfortable doing that. If all you did was just start with that, you'll build recognition and you'll build your touches with your clients and you'll build a business through that. And then you expand on other things.
Yeah, that way you don't stay as a secret ninja agent or
secret agent,
or you're hidden away.
Yeah.
We all know that people like that, John, right? That just kind of are hidden, and like, what do you do for a living? You know what I mean? Like, if we didn't know them, we would know the realtors, right? So you get out there, and I think the other thing is to keep in mind is that social media is not your complete answer for lead generation. That should not be your only strategy, because we also all know people individually that aren't using social media, that find it a distraction and actually cut themselves off from it altogether. How are you going to reach those people, right? It's not going to be through your stories.
I know, but for sure. We're talking about leverage here, though, right? We're talking about get started. Just do something. You're not going to do. This is not the all-encompassing solution.
And that'll be all, for sure. But it's just one of the pillars.
For sure. But just get started with that. I think it's okay. Like, me personally, how I use video is I don't go as elaborate as John. It sounds like I didn't even see your video yet, John. But it sounds like you created something that's pretty magnificent. And Ken's company helped you with that. That's really that's production value. It comes with a budget. I don't use that budget for creating videos like that. A lot of times it's basically what you see right now on the screen if you're watching this. Like, it's really simple. It's a Zoom setup and I'm talking, or I'm doing talking about an article, whatever. But a lot of times what I do is I use an app. There's several free ones like Loom. I use Dub, and I'll send a video message to somebody. So just record myself saying, "Hey Ken, I just was thinking about you. Want to say hi. Happy New Year. Blah blah. Whatever I want to say. 15 seconds. Off it goes." What I've done was I've connected with my client. I've made it very easy for them to consume, and I've also limited how much time I'm spending on that one client, because I'm doing this maybe 15 times in a day. I don't have the opportunity to speak to that many people in one day, and I've done my part to connect with them, make sure that they remember that I exist, and I'm selling real estate still. So it's a way to leverage. It's all about leverage.
Awesome. And they also say that 80% of all internet traffic right now is video, whether it's
kidding,
or live streams or whatever. Yeah, so all online traffic is video. So it's going to get more and more compelling. Less people are using cable, obviously, right? Everyone's going to Netflix and all that. And even that, I think, eventually moves to YouTube and all the social platforms. So I think, you'd be missing out if you're not in this video channel. And chances are you already know that because you're watching this, right? Or listening to this, whatever it might be. But it's definitely an important pillar, not your only pillar, just like anything else, but certainly important.
Cool.
Any questions? That's it?
Yeah, I just want
questions. Yep.
No, I think it's important that we talk about this because video is becoming a big concept, big deal. It's a way to get leverage, and this podcast is what's working in real estate. Well, guess what, guys? Video is working in real estate, and if you're not doing it, you're getting left behind because it's moving there, and if you're not going to be there, it's going to move on without you. So that number of 68,000 agents, might very well be shrunk in half if you're not on video, because you're going to be forgotten about. You're not going to exist.
That's true. And I find also the commercial guys are starting to get into video too, which is funny because typically it was just all residential, but now it's starting to get.
You know why? I think because for the most part, video has very much been business to consumer, B2C. It really hasn't been business to business, but I think now that it's so normal, you're starting to see videos on LinkedIn a lot more now, like that kind of stuff. And so I think B2B video is going to take over there too. So on Ken's next class, he'll be teaching you how to shoot business videos for businesses coming up in February.
We actually have a course already built up for that, but anyway.
See?
Whatever. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.
Hey, if you like the podcast, don't forget to subscribe, share it with a friend, and leave a comment below. And if you want to learn more about our brokerage, visit whykw.ca. Thanks for listening. See you in the next one.